Hi guys, and welcome back to Beauty Fortified. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sue. Today I'm going to be doing a review and wear test on two Revlon products. The first one is one of their new primers. This is the mattifying and pore reducing primer. And the second product is a new foundation. It's the Colorstay Lifeproof 24-hour stick foundation. Now, I've used one of the Revlon stick foundations in the past. It was the PhotoReady Instafix, and this did absolutely nothing for my skin. I think it has been discontinued. A little bit about my skin: I have got normal combination skin. I've got enlarged pores, fine lines, and wrinkles. So I decided to try out the primer, which is mattifying and pore reducing. There are two other variants in the range. One is a brightening primer, the other one is a smoothing primer. So I thought that this one would be best for my skin. Now, spoiler alert, I have used this a couple of times, and I will give you my final thoughts at the end. But one of the things that I've encountered is that the pump is a little bit temperamental. So right off the bat, not too impressed with that. You've got to fight a little bit with it to get the primer out. So I'm taking a little pea-sized amount of that, and I'm just going to pop it on the areas of my face that do get a little bit shiny and where I have got enlarged pores. And I must say that this is lovely to the touch. It really sinks into the skin. It's not too silicone-y, and it does create a lovely smooth base. So I wanted to try this with the foundation stick because I want to give the foundation stick the best chance possible to succeed. So let's hope that this helps. And then onto the stick. So the packaging, it comes in very regular stick packaging, but there's one design flaw that I've encountered, and that is with the lid. So when you take off the lid, you can see that the foundation stands proud of the applicator. And the problem with that is that whenever you put on the lid, you tend to nick the foundation, and it ends up making the applicator a little bit messy. Now, I haven't used this at all. I've just opened it a couple of times to swatch it, and already the stick is looking quite messy. If you compare it to the previous PhotoReady foundation, this is ideal because the foundation does not stand proud of the applicator. You just wind it up, and when you've used it, you wind it down again. So I'm not sure why they couldn't do the same for the new version, but anyway. So I'm going to apply a little bit of this all over my face, and this is in the shade True Beige, and I am True Beige in the regular Colorstay liquid foundation, and this is proving to be quite a nice match. So putting it on quite liberally, and then I'm going to buff it in with a foundation brush. So just to spread it out evenly. It's working really well with the brush. I'm not sure if it would work with a sponge because it is quite, the texture is quite thick. So I think you really need something that's going to be able to buff it in. I'm sure you could use your fingers as well if you wanted to. But so far, it's looking quite good. It's a very good shade match for me, and it's giving me a medium coverage. You could probably build it up, but I think medium for me is quite fine. And it is blending in, goes my earring, it is blending in very well with the brush. So far, so good. So I thought with this, I'm going to apply a cream blush. But before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer. So I'm going in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Just going to add a little dab of that to my cheeks, just to give a little bit of contour. I wouldn't say that the foundation is looking matte. It's kind of got a satin finish. So is looking quite good. It's not emphasizing my texture, but it's also not disguising it. So I can still see a little bit of texture, but we're going to give this a chance. I'm going to powder it down. Before I do that, I'm going to go in with a little bit of cream blush, and I'm using one from the MAC Glow Play range, and this is in the shade Grand. And I'm going to apply that with my Eco Tools blush brush. Just apply a little bit of this. The blush is going on really well over the foundation. So the foundation is looking quite good at this stage, but I think it does need a little bit of powder. And I'm just going to make sure that it's all blended in around the nose area and above the lips. So they do claim that this is long wearing, 24-hour wear. I would expect to get 12 hours then out of it. So divide that by 2. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, to give this foundation the best chance, I thought I'd go in with the Revlon Candid setting powder. I do enjoy this as a setting powder anyway, and because it's from the same brand, I thought let's just give this foundation the best chance. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on a powder brush and just lightly powder my forehead, and then here on my cheeks where I do have enlarged pores. And I do find that this powder does a great job of minimizing pores. So I think this one is the best one for the job. So I've got enough of that on now. And I think all that is left to do is just to apply a little bit of lipstick. I'm using a Maybelline lipstick, and this is in Almond Hustle. So that's the foundation done. I am going to go about my business, and I'm going to come back in a couple of hours, and I'm going to see whether this has really stood the test and whether it is long wearing and how it wears throughout the day. So I'll see you a bit later. So I've now been wearing the foundation for 8 hours. It's been a really, really hot day here, in excess of 27 degrees Celsius. I've been outside a lot of the day. I also spent a lot of the day with a mask on, and I must say that this foundation has really held up. It's definitely faded. It doesn't look as fresh as it did 8 hours ago, but it's faded quite evenly. I don't see it breaking up around my nose or around my chin, which are the typical areas where a foundation would tend to break up towards the end of the day. So it's really got great staying power, especially if you're looking for something that's going to work in the heat. I haven't touched up at all. I haven't powdered down. I haven't done anything. I've applied a little bit of lipstick, but it's really held up very, very well. So really, really impressed. I think that the primer probably had something to do with it. I don't think that this is necessarily the only factor that gave the foundation its longevity. I will obviously try the foundation without the primer as well. I think the primer is a nice to have. I don't think you necessarily need it. The only thing I will reiterate is the pump. I did have a problem earlier dispensing product. Now it's working perfectly. So just something to be aware of there. In terms of the foundation, again, this is great just to chuck in your handbag. I love the fact that it's no mess, no fuss. There's nothing on here that can leak. My only complaint, as I said previously, is the fact that the foundation does stand proud of the applicator. So it can get a little bit messy, and I think it's a little bit too cheap and cheerful for a Revlon foundation, the packaging that is. So I think that they could probably improve on that. But otherwise, overall, I'm very, very pleased. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you've tried this foundation or if you've tried the primer or any of the other primers in the range and what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd like to know if you had the same success that I've had. Be good to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Join me on Instagram. Please don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe and I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.